Hey guys, it's Khadijah with thisisr&b.com, and we are so glad that you would stop by to see us with our Halloween special, and we're giving you a countdown of our top 10 scariest Halloween themed movies, okay? And coming in at number 5, we have Freddy versus Jason, Kelly Rowland.
Let's talk about the butter knives. What is with the butter knives? You trying to compensate for something? Maybe coming up a little short there between the legs, Mr. Kruger? I mean, you got these teensy-weensy little things and Jason is...
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Woo! Okay, I remember this very, very vividly because I begged my parents to buy me this DVD. I had to have the DVD. That's when like DVDs were like first popular. The young kids probably won't even know what they are at this point.
Definitely don't.
But the reason why this role in this movie is such a pivotal moment for Kelly Rowland is because not only was this a bridge between standoms and Halloween culture with Freddy as a star of Halloween and Jason as a star of Halloween, but the fact that Kelly Rowland was one of the first, outside of Brady, of course, the first deep tone women that I've seen in a horror film, right? And she had that beautiful flipped cut burgundy short cut, the pixie cut. But my immediate memory of this was like, I hope she makes it to the end. That's all I kept saying. And it's because, you know, we have this like thing of like, will the black person survive the horror film? Yeah. And I was like, they better not kill her first. They better not kill her first. They better not kill her first. She did not die first. Right. But she did die. Yes. However, she had some of the best outtakes in the movie. And I don't know, a lot of people realize this, but one scene in particular always makes me giggle because I went and got the DVD. Is the scene where she's walking into the room running away from Jason and she screams. I mean, Kelly Rowland is a great actress, right? Yes. We see her work across Lifetime and other series and networks, but that scream was actually an unplanned, natural scream. She was not supposed to scream. Wow. So she was like so scared in the moment because the set and the legacy of these characters and these horror villains, it jumped out of her. And it's just like they could not cut it out of the film. They had to keep it. You have to. It's like, Kelly Rowland, man, like, I was like, Kelly Rowland is this sweet, kind Southern belle. Yeah. The trash talking she was doing. The trash talking that she did in this film. I was just like, oh, so she's not afraid to die. No, she was asking for it. She was asking for it. But she was asking for it from the wrong person, unfortunately. Yeah, so Kelly, she seems like the sweetest girl. Like I would love to meet Kelly Rowland. Just seeing her in this element, playing a role where she's such a badass, if you will, is so different for her. She's usually so sweet and girl next door and, you know, totally different from like her Christmas movies where she's normally like a sweetheart. So in this one, she totally rocked it, and I feel like anything you give Kelly Rowland, she's going to slay it, period. Yes, definitely. And exactly what you were talking about with the trash talking, that's kind of where I wanted to focus, is that the writers, they were like, oh, we are just going to go in, and the fact that she was like, yes, and I am going to go in there with you, I just really appreciate her not being the stereotype, but also being like, yeah, if black women are gonna be in a horror movie or something bad is happening, we're gonna let you know. Like, you're gonna insult us, we're gonna insult you. Oh, the dark meat? Oh, what you compensating for with those little fingers, you know, those butter knives as she calls it in the film. So I really appreciate the back and forth banter that they had throughout this film. Yeah, she definitely did that. Yeah. Hey guys, we're coming close to the #1 spot, and right now for number 4, we have Ghostbusters, featuring our one and only bad boy, Bobby Brown.
Oh, Ghostbusters!
How you doing?
Hey guys, come right this way. Hey, you guys got another one of those proton packs? My kid brother really wants one.
The proton pack is not a toy. I guess it's right.
Listen, if there's one person that I'm gonna trust to handle my extraterrestrial, out of this world definition, paranormal activity, goonery, it's gonna be Bobby from Boston.
Okay. The alliteration, the Bobby from Boston.
Bobby from Boston.
The bad boy Bobby Brown from Boston. There you go. Say it 3 times in a row.
who do you trust to call? Listen, the same way we talked about the actual song, right, that was made popular for the franchise itself, this appearance, I was just like, I would have never in a million years guessed that this would be the role that Bobby would step into.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Absolutely. This is a bit of an element of surprise here. And you talk about who you want to call Ghostbusters. No, you want to call Bobby, okay? Like, get over here. We got something going on. But yes, I feel like he did a great job in this movie. And you actually saw him in a different light. You know, he's dynamic, and we know him as the bad boy and the suave, open shirt, twisting of the body, tenderoni, women stiller. But he was actually pretty good in this movie.
Yeah. And I felt like, even though how you said seeing him in a different light, yes, he was playing himself, but it was him as a fan. You know, normally he's like, I'm the bad boy wherever I go. I'm Bobby Brown. And in this film, he was like, oh my gosh, you're Ghostbusters. Like, he was being a groupie in a sense. And I love, which I felt like it was such a great line, where he asked for, you know, the backpack, and they're like, no, this isn't a toy, this is serious business. And he's just kind of like, okay. But it's like, I love that. I love that for him, and I wish that he would tap into some more acting roles.
Yeah. I think that for Bobby Brown, I can understand why he doesn't do film. Because it's so hard for us not to view him as Bobby Brown.
That's true.
And I think him appearing in Ghostbusters, he said everything that you and I would say, right? I want the backpack. I want the car. I want to try all this. I want it. Can I buy it on Amazon? Can I add it to cart? Like, I really want to have this on stock in case something pops off in my place, right? So I think that Bobby Brown's appearance in this film itself, right, just spoke to his star power. Like, a lot of the younger people don't realize who a lot of these R&B bad boys get their persona from, or where they get their influence from, but it's Bobby. It's undoubtedly Bobby. It's always been Bobby, right? And I think this film showed us, like, why is Bobby there? It answered all of the questions for us. Like, so people had to go back and do their homework, right, to know who Bobby, bad boy Bobby from Boston was, right?
Exactly.
So speaking of bad boys, do you think that Bobby Brown could play in one of the Bad Boys movies? Could he be one of the, you know, detectives?
I think that is a great question. You know what? I say Bobby, I'm thinking back. As soon as you say bad boy, I'm thinking about Bad Boys 2, the scenes in Miami and Little Haiti when they go into like the merchant stores. I absolutely could see Bobby as a merchant in the store, like, get out of my store. I don't talk about you. I can absolutely see Bobby. Bobby would have, you know, I didn't even think about that. Bobby would have a great career, similar to like Ice-T when we talk about like bad boys. Ice-T, the bad boy from rap, right? Bobby could have an amazing career if he transitioned over into doing like detective shows or true crime shows, because he understands how to be real in those moments. And I think that sometimes people, they try to play it up so much that it's like, a detective wouldn't say this, a cop wouldn't say this, right? But Bobby, absolutely, I can see him as a rogue detective, going to go to the hood and talk to people and try to find out who did crime, or like a Law and Order SVU episode, or like a Bad Boys appearance. Why not?
I can totally see Will, Martin, and Bobby, the chemistry, the dynamic would be like off the charts.
Imagine if he was like the new sergeant. And Martin had to report to him.
Oh my gosh, that would be a comedy.
Woosah, like Bobby doing that. I think that would be like hilarious.
Yes. If you guys agree, let us know in the comment section below. Hey guys, it's Khadijah with thisisarmy.com, and you're watching our Halloween special, and we are getting so close to that #1 spot. You don't want to miss it. And right now, coming in at number 3. You guys are gonna be surprised who's coming in at number 3. We have a duo, okay? It is the Wiz of Michael Jackson and of course the incomparable Diana Ross, the boss herself.
Morris!
I ain't scared. I ain't got nothing to be scared about.
Ooh, classic. That is a total classic.
Yeah.
Don't you wheel down the road.
Don't you carry nothing that might
Be alone. Is that the words?
Alone.
No. Okay, alone.
The word is alone. It's okay. We're talking about the movie. We're not talking about the song, so it's okay, honey.
All right.
But yeah, I feel like this is great coming in at number 3 on our countdown, because for me, that movie was extremely scary. And even though it was like, for people of that generation in the 70s, that was a big deal, because it's like a major movie with major stars, and that represent them in a horror. Not a horror, but just representing them in that type of, on the big screen, you know, and predominantly the whole cast was African American. And, you know, we can play not just a stereotypical role. Like, we can be a scarecrow, we can be a Tin Man, we can be Dorothy, and guess what? Dorothy can have short hair, you know? So I think that it was a phenomenal cast, and like, it is a classic, and you know, it never gets old. But for me, I thought it was really interesting that it ended up on this list, because those flying monkeys were scary, okay? And everything about that movie was scary. I mean, it was entertaining, you were energized, you felt excited, but when it was scary, it was scary.
Yeah. No, definitely a legendary movie, and with a legendary cast, right? The beautiful Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, I mean, and the list goes on.
Quincy Jones as composer.
Yes. I don't know that it was scary for me. I know that it was kind of creepy. You know what? Evelyn?
Yes.
Oh
my gosh. That nightmares. Nightmares. I'm just telling you, everything about this movie was nightmares for me.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it was creepy. It was definitely one of my favorite movies. Yeah. The flying monkeys. Those little things.
Where are they? I don't know.
So when we talk about this film, one thing that is always the top of the list is it being a classic, right? And it couldn't come at a better time that we're discussing this film, because right now the revival of the actual musical, starring none other than Deborah Cobb, my Avery Wilson, and of course Candy Burris and her husband Todd Tucker are the co-producers of this production. But the film itself, I think what immediately captured me is, for so many years, and I know this is probably gonna come off terrible, right? But for so many years, Black art, Black storytelling, Black narratives have been stripped away and refaced with other non-Black folk. And this is the first time where we saw a predominantly Black cast take something that was beloved by a non-Black community and outdo it. So and I think it's because of how much freedom the actual story had. It still sticks to the true essence of the Wizard of Oz, right? But you cannot get that type of creativity without those masterminds in the actual production, right? And then we talk about Michael Jackson, and we talk about Diana Ross, and we talk about the genius that is Quincy Jones, right? So we talk about these people as if something like is a normal thing. I think with The Wiz, it broke so many stereotypes, right? Diana Ross was not supposed to be casted in this role, right? Because of her age, because of her look, whatever it is that they wanted to do, right? They wanted to go younger. But now that it's out, and it's been out for all of these years, there's no one else you can imagine in that role but Diana Ross.
Right. Any of those characters you can't imagine, because it wouldn't give you that same feel.
Right.
You know, it's just a phenomenal movie. I don't know when they were making it, the impact that they thought that they would have on not even just the African American community, but the world. But it is definitely, I would say, a cult classic. And it goes down as one of the best movies. And that's why I think also the scariness, why it landed in at number 3 on our top 10 list.
And talk about the music, right? We're talking about like R&B themed. We talk about like Halloween, scary spooky. But like people sing the Wiz soundtrack all the time.
All the time. It never gets old. You can easily, I mean, and it's just like what is it? Like the words that you reference when you hear word association. That's what I'm looking for. But if someone says ease on, you just automatically gonna say down the road. Like you just can't help yourself. You're just gonna instantly go down there. But yeah, definitely a classic for sure.
It makes me want to sing right now, but I'll spare you.
Yes, please. I don't want my ears to bleed.
I think of a place.
Stephanie Mills, thank you. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Hey guys, it's Khadijah with thisisrb.com, and we have already been through 8 of the top 10 R&B Halloween special scary themed movies, and we're coming in at number 2, guys. Can you imagine, or can you think of who's number 2 spot?
There's still so many up for grabs.
Yeah.
I can't think of number 2.
No.
Okay, well I'm just gonna let the anticipation boil up a little bit longer and let you know right now that coming in at the number 2 spot, we have none other than the princess, actually the queen of the dam, and that would be Aaliyah. We miss you, sweetie.
Yes.
You talk about influence.
The influence.
This film was spooky. When I saw this, I'm used to lighthearted Aaliyah.
Yeah.
You know, like baby girl Aaliyah. When I saw this film, I didn't look at her the same. I said, that was always how movies dad. Like,
Yes.
I don't know if I should trust you anymore.
Yes, right.
She stepped completely into this role, and there's so many different elements you could talk about. We talk about this film, right?
Yeah.
Not only the actual performance, the acting performance, right? But the way that she committed to this character, right? In all senses of the word, the way she uniquely delivered those lines, right? And I think that the chemistry, the on-screen chemistry is the most important for me when you talk about like these lively pieces of filmography. But the looks, baby, Aaliyah said, I was always a high fashion girly. I'm not dumbing this down.
Yeah, exactly.
You talk about the hair, talk about the makeup, talk about the costuming, right? The lighting. How many people have you seen in R&B alone reference her movies? Reference that particular scene in the tub? Like I'm talking about like actual reenactments and music videos.
Yes.
Halloween costumes. Like we see this every year without fail.
Every year, without a
She
doubt.
understood the assignment for sure. Yeah, she committed to it, and it actually gave us an opportunity to see another side of her. And it's legendary. Like people don't forget that. They don't forget her, her music, and this is one of the pieces that will forever go down. And when you think of Aaliyah, you'll think of not only how beautiful of a soul she was, her great voice, she had a beautiful voice, but you can also think of this film, especially during, Halloween.
Yeah.
So she definitely committed to this role, and she did a wonderful job with it.
Okay, coming in at the number 1 slot, we have Antebellum, Janelle Monáe.
There's a mistake. I'm here now. Thank you. Ma'am, do you mind turning down the music? Please. Hello?
On your burning flesh, you can see your reflection in the luminescent dash. Warm.
Turns out this color does look nice on you.
Warm.
Yeah, this is definitely a scary movie. This is scary to think about if this were to actually happen.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes this so scary, because this used to be a reality for us, for our people. So to have this actually kind of, turn around and happen again hundreds of years later, it kind of, it's not even on, most scary movies, you're kind of living in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
But this is kind of eerie because this actually happened. And to think if it did happen again and you got trapped into some weird crap like this, like how the heck would you handle something like that? the mental, the physical, and just everything that brings up. I don't know, this movie really just hit different when I watched it. I enjoyed the movie. The twist was different, but in the plot and all of that stuff was good, but it just made you think, like, it was kind of like too
close to home.
Yeah,
too close to home.
It was eerie. It's eerie, especially because given today's climate, this could very well turn into another reality in some shape or form, right?
Exactly.
Some shape or form.
And to your point, with Janelle Monáe, in their work, they always inject a sense of consciousness. Like whether it's speaking on political issues or societal issues or gendered issues, whatever it is, financial, economic standings. This film was just an extension of that work that Janelle Monáe does with their music, right? And hit or miss, right? This was such a hotly discussed film when it was released. It was. Because people had an expectation of what it should be. And Janelle Monáe turned that on its face. Like, no. You're gonna get the story that we need right now. And 5, 10, 15 years from now, you're gonna understand the actual value of this production, right? We're not here for instant gratification. We're here for you to move your thoughts beyond, right? This is a very real reality that we could be living in, and how would you move that, right? It's a political undertone, but of course in the subset of Halloween, horror, spooky, eerie content.
And I think it's such a different role that we've seen her in, because we saw her in Hidden Figures, which again, I said she's always constantly throwing hidden messages in there. With the scene that always gets me is when they have the car trouble and they're like, calm down, don't want to speed. And she's like, when is the next time that you can be speeding behind a cop, you know, and pushing them along, you're not gonna get a ticket. And so it's like things like that, thought-provoking. And definitely with this movie is a lot of thought-provoking, moving the meter and just opening up a level of consciousness that had been dormant for so many people.
Absolutely. And Janelle Monáe, she's such a class act. Whether she's speaking, whether she's singing, and in this case she's acting, it's like she just delivers everything with such grace and class. It's like, even for a scary movie, she's like classy. So I thought this was a great pick for number 1, because just the thought of it is scary as heck.
Okay guys, you have already seen our top 10 list. You've heard from us. We want to hear from you. Can't believe that we're already here. We've been at number 1. We went through this list. I mean, how do you guys feel about this list so far?
I think this list is a mixture of everything. It's a mixture from the oldies, the current, the goodies, the staples, the fixtures. It has everything and everyone that you can imagine.
So, I mean, I had an absolute pleasure with you two tonight. It was fun going through this list, telling our stories and our experiences with the movies. It was great. I thought that all of the picks were great.
Yeah, I would agree. I had a great time being scared with both of you, going down memory lane on so many different movies here. And guys, we want to hear from you. Again, we thank you for your love and for constant support. And make sure you check us out on thisisrnb.com. And again, I'm Khadijah, and we thank you. And hope you like our Halloween special. See you next time on thisisrnb.com.